Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Hi, my name's Evelyn, and I'm a grateful member of Al-Anon. I'm also recovering controller, so I'm working on being free this morning and just letting it all ride out. So this is the first time for me, and I thank you all for being here on Saturday morning, and I thank Denise and Dave for honoring me by asking me to be here this morning. I'm a little nervous because this is my first time, but I think that I've really felt a lot of love here this morning, and a couple, Dave can really see my nervousness, and as I approached him this morning, he said, "Oh, I wanted to tell you we changed the topic." And he really knows how to rattle me here. So the topic is the fourth C, and I think that he heard enough from me because we speak together at one of the institutes, and I'm always mentioning how the three C's were so powerful and what an effect it had on me when I first came into Al-Anon. And I think that as I tell you about my life, my story, you'll hear the three C's, and I didn't know I contributed at all. 6 years ago, I heard that word for the first time, so it threw me. But as I'm growing in Al-Anon, starting my 16th year, and I think that there's a lot of layers to be peeled away. So I think that I'm learning a lot about how I contributed. So I am from Connecticut. I was born and raised there, and in a very French Catholic family. And they were very strict about it, and there's even French people in the neighborhood. Lots of French families went to a French Catholic church, and it was just a lot of French people there. Ancestors, so many people have, the funerals were there, the marriages were there, all the weddings. It was just, that's what was going on. It was one of those, my mom and dad were very reserved, conservative kind of people, and there wasn't a lot of hugging. I never heard "I love you," and I never got a hug. And it was always, go play outside. And so I think that, being the third girl, and my brother came after me, but being the third girl, I always felt that my dad was just waiting for that boy, and he got annoyed that the third one was a girl. And so I picked up this message from him all along that, it's a bother, a pain in the neck, and he would just take things out on me, just kind of, So the attention I got was the negative attention. And so I always, the self-esteem was not going very good. I was really, I was getting knocked in every way. And I was having outside when they told me to go out and play, I just did wonderful things, picked blueberries, climbed trees, and swing, just kind of played out there and enjoyed myself all the time. Watch ants, build their home, and so on and so on. So I think that my sisters didn't, they were into their thing, and so I was alone a lot. My brother, I hung out with him more, but he wanted to be with his buddies, so it was like, get out of here, So I felt in the way and just that being a bother. So I think that, my mom died when I was 14, and that was really significant. It was really quite a blow, and I got very lost after that. I didn't have a sense of direction. I really realized, now I look back and realize that the family, my whatever was there, was the love. That was it. The roof over your head, the clothes you got, the food on the table. That's it. That's your love. So I think that, when my mom left, I was devastated, and I just didn't have any sense of direction. So we moved, and I was around 14 when she had passed, and I think that I just said, well, let me get interested in school, and I started really getting involved and getting good grades in high school. So after high school, in Waterbury, Connecticut, it was you're planning your wedding as a senior. You're planning your wedding. So I think that I didn't have a wedding to plan. So I just said, well, I'm going to New York. I got on a bus and went to New York. And just before that, after my mom died, I met this fella, and it was that was the kid's dad, and really, I just fell for him. He had this hot little car, Mercury coupe, kind of convertible, his hair, he was really, really, I thought, gee, hot. So I think when I went to New York, he joined the Marines just before he went to New York. And he came back from Okinawa, and I happened to bump into him. It was kind of a by chance thing in the Grand Central Station. We were both going back to Connecticut, and I was kind of blown away that this Marine, in full uniform, was walking up to me. I didn't even know him. But anyway, that was, it was all romantic to me. And so we went back to Connecticut, and he asked my dad for a hand in marriage, and my dad said no. And he went back 2 more times, and my dad still said no. So it was like, I think that there was a message there. Didn't get it, but went to New York. As I was in New York, I went back there, and we got married there. And he went on to North Carolina to be in the Marine Corps and finish his time. And then, he said he found housing down there, so I went down there with him. And we had housing, and it was just more coldness is all I could think of. It was just really strict, cold life going on. And anyway, I had my first daughter there, and then we left the Marine Corps, went back to Connecticut, and set up house and apartments and stuff, and had my second daughter. And craziness started in North Carolina. He was not come home. It was just like long weekends away. And I just thought, what is going on? And now I see all the red flags, but then I did not see any. And, there was a lot of lies and all this going on. And, of course, my self-worth was just, very, very low. And I thought, well, geez, maybe if I did this or did that. So I think that was part of the cause. I caused all that he's doing wrong, and it was my fault. And I think that sort of played a tune pretty much throughout the marriage as he did his thing. He didn't pay much attention to the kids. And, there was, I thought at one point after my second daughter, well, maybe if he had a son, because of the way it went in my family, I thought, well, that'll settle him down. He'll get responsible and so on. But none of that worked, because here I am trying to control and stop his bad habit of drinking. That was how I thought I was going to cure that bad habit. And so I think that the reality of the situation is that nothing worked. The son didn't work, the second son didn't work. And so here I was, 4 children, and he was nowhere. I mean, I couldn't find him the doctors couldn't find him through any of the birth of each child. So it was just like, that phrase and our understanding ourselves unwanted, unloved, and alone is very much a big part of what I was feeling. Even as a young girl and through that marriage, it was it. But, I think that as he kept, doing his things, I kept doing a lot of idle threats. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to get a divorce. You're out of here, and so on and so on. And nothing, I didn't follow through with anything. It was just a lot of verbal threats. But I think there was a couple of times where he would come home from work and he'd be drunk. And he would bring a six-pack. And I just saw the trouble coming on the 6th can of beer and so on. And I was counting them, counted the cans opening because I knew what was going to happen. And so as the kids were getting older, it was just getting more insane, and I was trying to hide the kids, go upstairs, go away, just because I knew what was going to happen. So the anxieties, the anticipation of what might happen with this person who was there but not there. And so I think at times, he would be start throwing things at me. He'd start fights, and these were all excuses, tried to make excuse to get out. He would just start a fight. And so there was some abuse going on, and so I just said, this is just too much. There must be a better life. So as I was trying to manage the kids, and which I don't know how I did it, but I was trying to keep them in line and keep the family together, and as he bounced around at friends. So I, at one point, through the separations, and he made all these promises. He's going to stop, he's going to be a good guy, a good husband, and I loved him crazy. It was a sick kind of love. But I was just, I felt like sometimes I was so obsessed with him. I'm going to fix him, I'm going to change him. He's going to turn around. One of these days, it's going to happen. And so that was kind of like, all my attention was on him. And it was just an obsession, and it was crazy. But the kids got neglected because I was so, maneuvering around what might happen, how to keep my, things going in the family. And so at one point, it was towards the end of my life with him. It was with him 11 years. And just towards the end of that, I said, that's it, I'm getting a divorce. So this time I followed through. And times before that, I would go to the lawyer, set it all up, and renege. No, forget it, I'm not going to do it. So I need him. How am I going to get around? I don't have a car. He's got the car. So these are all kinds of things that played into it, and plus his promises. So I think that it was just, for me, that's clear insanity. And at one point, I thought, this guy's not going to come at me, not one more time. And just about that time, I said, I'm going to fight. I'm going to really defend myself. And so at just about that time, there was a lot of karate classes starting up.
To obtain additional copies, receive a free catalog of AA and Al-Anon talks, or to find out about our tape and CD of the Month Club, call Encore Audio Archives at 1-800-878-1308, or visit our website at www.12steptapes.com.
Around my town, it was like Bruce Lee or somebody. There was a big movie about karate, and so I just said, I'm going to go into that self-defense class. So I started in the self-defense class, and the kids came, come on, you're joining too. And so I'm in the self-defense class, and I'm, earning belts and going to competitions up and down the northeastern coast, and won a couple of trophies. And my self-confidence started to really climb. And so I said, this feels so good, So he came to the house, and he started making more, I'm going to take the kids, you're not going to see them anymore, and all this garbage. And I said, you're not. And so then he started pushing me, and I said, you want to mess with me, buddy? So what I did, I got in my stance, you know, and I said, come on, you want a piece of me? So I was getting kind of really, you know, cocky and stuff. So he called my bluff. Well, I kind of gave him a good old back fist, and I don't know, something happened over here, and there was a lot of blood coming out. So he backed up a little, and so it felt so good. It felt so good. And I thought, so he just backed up. And since that day, no matter where I saw him, he was backing up. And even in the car, he had his hand on that handle of the door. And he was, you know, was ready to back away from me because don't mess with me anymore was the message. And you know, I think it got across. So at that point, I mean, you know, I just think that he, you know, I didn't see him much after that. So then my, as I was earning these belts, I got all involved with the Women's Center and got, you know, I felt this sense of freedom, you know, and I just felt this sense of power. And I was joined the, you know, I was in the Women's Center and they asked me to take it over. So I was like director of this Women's Center and getting all this power. And so, and it was before I knew it, the women that were in the center wanted me to teach their girls the self-defense. I said, oh, sure. You know, so I got more energy and more power from this. And so before I knew it, I'm having classes of girls, 8 to 12 years old, you know, teaching them how to do self-defense. This is it. No girl in this world, not even in Connecticut, I'm going to go for all these girls, and no one's going to get hit. None of these girls. I'm going to teach them self-defense, and they're going to be strong. So that was my mission. And I was teaching the women. I went to colleges, and the young women wanted to know self-defense. So I was into this 10-week, I was taking 10-week program here, 10-week program there. So I was going to teach all the women how to defend themselves. That was my mission. And I think that as I was doing this, I had, you know, there were so many women that were coming into the Women's Center that were raped, and so there was no place for them to go. So I started a rape crisis center, and I was seeing these women through the courts and supporting them because nothing was in my hometown for these women. So I was this big advocate of women, just kind of going and talking for them, with them, supporting them, whatever I could do. So this just continued, and I got up to a second-degree red belt, and I was a test away from black belt. But I had left Connecticut, and I said, you know what, let me get, you know, I need a new ground, you know, get away from just a new start, you know. And I was trying to get away from, like, alcoholism, which is a joke. And so when I got out of Connecticut, came to California, and I tried to get back into classes and where I could, you know, continue and get my black belt, but just didn't work out. So I think that, you know, after my divorce from him, I was doing some classes out here in California in karate, but really didn't follow through with it and get my black belt. But I think when I came out here, there was like 20 years where I brought the kids up, and they kind of went off into their, you know, into their life. And 20 years, I carried all the effects of the disease of alcoholism. And, you know, the obsessive things, the denial of, you know, a lot of things. And I think that it's sort of, I got to be a really good control freak. I got to be really good at it. And I got in everybody's business and really kind of got myself crazy with that. But after getting I got my undergraduate degree in Connecticut and got a good job and took care of the kids. And when I came out here, after the kids are gone, I went up to the San Francisco State and got my advanced degree up there. So I thought, well, here's my life. I'm in my life now where the kids are gone. I did all that I could for everybody else. So now it's time for me. So I came down here to re-establish a relationship with my daughters because I felt that they had seen more than I wanted them to see. And so when I came down here and I was working, I met this fella and at my place of work. And, I really, really fell for him. He was a great guy. Loved him so much. He was a recovering alcoholic, and I thought, this is the answer to all my prayers. This is it. Finally, something I'm going to, happiness is for me. So we got married, and he got addicted to Vicodin because he got fibromyalgia, and he got a lot of things going on with his body because of the drinking, 30 or more years of his drinking. And so and I watched him take these handfuls of Vicodin, and there was some episodes at work which were embarrassing, really very, very shameful things going on at work. And I had, as a professional, and I couldn't have these things happening at work. And so I had gone into a center, a clinic, and told them that, somebody here's got to help this guy. So he did go into the clinic, and he did get help for the addiction. But I had carried all this garbage from my first husband, that was all that junk, and I was crying all the time. And there was just uncontrollable crying. And so by the time when I was with my second husband, I'm at the doctor saying that I got these bad headaches, I'm having, depression, anxiety. So before you know it, I'm on 3 different medicines. I'm on medicine for my stomach because I've got all this acid going on. And I thought, well, so anyway, it was just crazy. So someone said, you need Al-Anon. So that's when I walked into an Al-Anon meeting, and I heard the first time I heard the 3 C's. I think that it really helped me so much to know that I couldn't control it. I didn't cause it, and I can't cure it. But geez, I tried. Oh my God. I really put all my energy into that because I wanted a family so bad. And, I went back with the kid's dad so many times that my daughter said to me one time, we got a swinging door dad, because he was there and he wasn't there, and he wasn't there. So I had to make amends to each and every one of my children for, really neglecting them. And I made amends to each one of them. They were extremely gracious about it. No one in my family's in Al-Anon, but I do see the trickle down happening with my daughter and hearing the slogans come back at me, and I just smile. So I'm learning so much in Al-Anon, and as I peel away those layers and dig out all the crap, I'm feeling like such a better, happy person because I wasn't happy. I was always so busy, trying to control him and cure what was going on with him.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing. Taper Dave here. Just wanted to take a second to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like what you're listening. I've got some very good talks here, and this one's a great one. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Tell me what you think.
And I really didn't know I contributed in any way whatsoever. I thought it was all him. And when, in these past years since I heard contribute, I really doing another kind of exploring. And when I look in and I think about what's been going on inside, it's like, think about this, Evelyn. Look at what's been going on. And there was even in I controlled, and even in my job, it was my job to do that, to fix and control. So I got paid to do it. So it was like really fermented here, this control thing. And I was so good. So I think now when I say recovering controller, I'm really working on it all the time. And there's times when I really, I have some great friends around me that sort of put me, in check every once in a while and keep me on track on the control thing. So, and the fixing. So I think that today, when I look at how much I contributed, by saying the booze are me or the pills are me, I didn't know anything about alcoholism. I didn't know anything about addiction. And these years in Al-Anon, I feel so grateful for Al-Anon because I learned about alcoholism, what it's all about. And it's just, when I'm so grateful, and I'm just, I do the A to Z every morning, most mornings, not this morning, it's just too hot. But I walk and I think about, going through the alphabet A to Z and think of all the things that I'm grateful for. And I am. And I'm, things are happening to me late in life. And I wish I wish I had Al-Anon years ago. But this is the way it is. And today my gifts are my children. They're wonderful gifts. They're loving, caring, and very, very patient with me as I am, turning myself inside out a bit. The grandkids are great. I have a picture of my granddaughter right here. And I think that there's many grandchildren, and I think there's 13 at this point, and as many great-grandkids. So the family's quite large, and I'm very sensitive to who's drinking and who's not, and the grandkids. So I think that what's happened is that if I spot something, I go to a great new friend who has helped me so much, Dave, thank you, and put it in its true perspective. And just because my 18-year-old granddaughter got, a DUI, and I freaked out, Dave helped me put it in its true perspective, because maybe it's just that. She's at campus. She, tried to get 10 kids in a little car, but thank God the police on campus helped her and stopped her. So it could have been bad. It could have been out on the highway. So, really, I don't want to even think about it. But I'm so grateful for Al-Anon. And recently I had joined another group, or, have been coming to this Tuesday night group quite often. And the love and acceptance that I've been feeling, in this group, that you've accepted me for who I am, has been really, really big, because I've been fighting this self-esteem and people judging me and not being worthy all my life. And I think that this is, that I even feel the love here this morning, when people trying to mess with me and telling me that it's the biggest day of my life. Don't worry about it. This is, I just love that they're not as serious as I am, and I love that they're lighthearted and fun, and are, have embraced me. And it just has been, since I met Denise and Dave, I feel that there's a shining light happening in my life. And I talked briefly yesterday about the trust and about the higher power. And I think that, I really, being brought up a Catholic, I had this image of God, that everybody had. It was just a Catholic thing, and watch out for him. He's going to punish you if you don't do this or do this. So I was always in fear of this God. And so as I, kind of went through my life and prayed to him and asked him for him to do the things like I thought he's supposed to do, like stop the kid's dad from drinking. Look at this, you got to do something. And he didn't. So I got kind of ticked off at the God I had. And through Al-Anon, I've been able to do like a little makeover of this image of God, and threw in a little Buddha and threw in a little goddess, just to sort of soften up this image and give this higher power of mine more sensitivity and more love and kindness. And it's been working. But, sometimes there's it's fleeting sometimes. You know, there's a trust issue going on, and I've been, you know, things haven't been going good here and there, so I've just sort of gotten to condition to not believe and always have this doubt. So I think that the white light is very, very positive, and it's very warm and loving, and I just I'm going to end it here. I want to thank the people for coming here this morning. I'm just very touched by all of this. So thank you, and I'll open it up to the 3 C's or the 4th C. Thank you very much.
I think we got a great talk going on here. Thanks for watching the channel. Taper Dave here. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right. But I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.